Good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm the Director of Operations here at the Imagine America Foundation. I'm excited about today's topic, career pathways in STEM careers in the transportation industry with Universal Technical Institute, or UTI. UTI is this country's leading provider of high-quality, career-focused education at 12 locations nationwide. UTI is also a 20-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 15,000 enrolling Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation and our scholarship programs for your graduating high school seniors to our website, which is www.imagine-america.org, or you can contact me after this presentation is over. And I can connect you to the right person to talk to. Since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians. We hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country, desperately looking for more qualified employees. We need to do more. Our partner in today's presentation is Universal Technical Institute, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with an extensive K-12 background, so you're in good hands today. But before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of the presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature in this Zoom meeting or by using the chat feature. Either way works. At the end of the presentation, or approximately 2:25, I will then present any questions offered by the participants, and we'll address as many questions as possible and provide written responses in follow-up emails if necessary. We'll have a hard close at 2:30. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Dr. Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Lee, and thank you everyone for joining me this afternoon. Let's get right into the presentation. Our agenda today is threefold: challenges facing the workforce, followed up by opportunities in the transportation industry, and then finally, Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. I always like to start off with the changing workforce, how much it's changed from the 20th century to the 21st century. You can see in the 20th century, we were very much an agricultural manufacturing economy with some service in there as well. And you can see we've gravitated in the 21st century to very much a service-oriented economy. You can all attest to that yourselves. If you own a house, a car, a washing machine, you know exactly what I'm talking about, trying to get people to come work on things, let alone someone who's qualified. You also might look at this chart and say, wow, agriculture dropped from 41% to 2%. Are we running out of food? Should I be concerned? Quite the contrary. We actually feed more people at 2% than we did with the 41%. The difference is technology. But with technology, it goes along with service. We need people that can work on this technology. A recent survey was done of 150,000 students from grades 6 through 12, and they were asked, how many of you would like a skilled trades career? And as you can see, 3% said, yes, sign me up. They were pretty excited. The same group then was asked, how many of you would like a STEM career? And over 45% said, now that's what I want. I want a STEM career, not a skilled trades career. And there lies the disconnect, because skilled trades and STEM go hand in hand. But kids don't see that connection. Unfortunately, we have educators that don't see that connection as well. They tend to think of STEM as more white collar rather than blue collar. I say it's all collars because STEM permeates our career pathways and our economy. STEM career growth has grown exponentially. It's between 2017 and 2027, it's projected STEM growth will be over 13%. And personally, I think that's a little low. I think it'll be even more than that. Other jobs, non-STEM, will grow at about a 9% clip. The biggest difference is when you start looking at hourly and yearly wages. In a non-STEM career, you're looking at a little over $19 an hour. In a STEM career, about $39 an hour, quite a difference. But then you take that to the yearly earnings, median earnings. You see non-STEM career, a little over 38,000. STEM career, almost $87,000. And then you multiply that by the number of years in a career, whether that be 15, 20, 25, 30, even 35 years. That is huge, the amount of earning potential that's there. Now, don't misunderstand me. Just because you choose a non-STEM career doesn't mean you have to be poor or anything like that. That I don't mean that at all. It's just that the averages show us that STEM exceed non-STEM careers in median earnings. A little over 20% of the jobs in the country today require a bachelor's degree for entry. Only 20%. Another startling statistic is that almost half of the college graduates walking around today, they go into occupations or careers where they didn't even need the degree in the first place. They spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money to get this degree, only to find out that they didn't need it in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that a bachelor's degree is bad. Of course, it's not. Education is good at any level. But the point is, we as educators need to do a better job with career readiness and career pathways to guide these students so that they don't make this mistake and do something they really didn't need to do in the first place. The old smart versus the new smart. I get asked a lot of times, what is the difference between the two? Well, the difference lies in the very beginning. In the old smart, what we used to do is look for the best school you could get into, the most prestigious school. Then once you get there, figure out what it is you want to do. You might laugh at that, but how many of you changed your majors? I know I did. Then once we figure out what we want to do, if we do figure that out, then we walk out the front door, degree in hand, and go, here I am, world, hire me. It just doesn't work any longer. It just doesn't work that way. And you might even say, Steve, this is ridiculous. Nobody thinks like this any longer. Well, I would refer you to the recent admissions scandal. These parents were bribing schools and paying exorbitant amounts of money to get their sons and daughters into prestigious schools like USC, like Stanford. And what they get to show for it? Well, they got fines and jail sentences. What's ironic is that many of their sons and daughters didn't even want to go to school in the first place, but it was important to the parents for them to do this. So it still does go on. The new smart, once again, starts with the student. What does the student want to do? What are they good at? We always say, ask little kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Why do we stop asking that question? Why not keep asking students all the way through school? What do you want to be when you grow up? A little, gut check. What do you want to be when you grow up? What are you good at? I always tell the story about in Florida, I was doing a STEM workshops with electronic circuit boards, grades 2 through 5. I had the 4th grade class in. We were going at it, and teacher comes up to me. She's got tears in her eyes. And I'm going, oh man, what's happened? Somebody get hurt? And she goes, look at that little boy there in the back. And so the little boy back there, he was having the time of his life. He put together his kit. He was helping others, having a great time. She said, I almost didn't bring him today. I go, oh my gosh, why wouldn't you have brought him? Because he's a troublemaker. He's always causing mischief. I can't count on him. And I just knew he was going to come in here and ruin your session. So I wasn't going to bring him. But she said, look at him. He's got a smile on his face. He was the first one done. He started helping his friends. And he's already asked me if he could stay for the 5th grade session. I said, well, there you go. You learned something about him today. And that's what we need to do with all of our students. Find out what makes them tick. What are they good at? And don't talk them out of it. Encourage it. Then the second part is, what kind of a program do they need? Do they need a bachelor's degree? Do they need an associate's degree? Do they just need competency-based credentials? We have to determine that. And then finally, we can determine which school they need. Why send a student to USC or UCLA or whatever university or college when they want to be a welder? Why not send them to a welding school or a cosmetologist? We can go on and on. There's all different kinds of post-secondary opportunities for students out there. So that's why we as educators need to do a better job of career pathways and career readiness. The rule of 1-2-7, very simple. If you add 1, 2, and 7 together, you get 10. So for every 10 careers that are available today, right now, only one requires an advanced degree, meaning a master's degree or higher. Only 2 require a bachelor's degree. 7 of the 10 careers that are available today, right now, only require competency-based credentials, meaning a diploma or a certificate, or they need an associate's degree. Yet, we are pushing students into colleges and universities at almost a 70% clip. So you can see what we're doing as a nation is we are doing the opposite of what the economy is dictating to us. This is why we have such a shortage in skilled trades right now, because of that thinking. I educate educators. It's what I do all over the country. And you as educators, you have parents and students that you're educating. And I put parents in there because I know how difficult they can be. A lot of them are still part of the old smart, and we have to educate them into the new smart. But we have to help them understand that skilled trades and STEM are hand in hand. We also have to dispel this myth of university for all. You have to go to college. You have to have a college degree in order to be successful. That is just not true any longer. Each student has their own career pathway, their own idea of what they want to be, of what they're going to be successful at. And we have to nurture that rather than coach them out of it. And then finally, we have to realize, what are employers looking for? They're looking for competency-based credentials. What do you bring to the table? What do you have to offer to make them successful, their company successful? The second part of our agenda today is opportunities in the transportation industry. I don't care if it's a car, a truck, an ATV, a motorcycle, a boat, doesn't matter. They're either rolling or floating computers. You know, the technology in these vehicles today is amazing. You know, it makes life so much easier and fun, but I think of it as safety. Take, for instance, the backup camera. We've all heard the horror stories about somebody backing over a small child, sometimes their own child, because they didn't know they were back there. With the backup camera, that virtually eliminates that, because all you have to do is look and see what's going on behind you. Another one, the blind spot indicator. We've all pulled that one. We start to change lanes and somebody honks at us like, where did they come from? We didn't see them anywhere. The blind spot indicator, with the sensors we have on our cars and trucks, tells us who's around us. It makes us aware of what's going on. Or the cars that will, automatically brake when you get too close to an object or to another car. All these safety features. But the problem is, who's going to work on this stuff? Who's going to keep these things operating? I read an article not too long ago about farmers, and they're having difficulty getting them to buy the new farming equipment. Tractors, combines, they have all this technology too. But the problem is, farmers can't work on it because it's so advanced now. They can't work on their own stuff any longer. And they're worried that they're not going to have technicians to work on this machinery, and they've got to have it. They can't afford the downtime. They got crops, they got to get in the field and out of the field. So they're buying the older equipment. And that's a problem, because all this new technology means they can get higher yields per acre. So, it's kind of a catch-21 there, so 22, I should say. So we have to remember, we need technicians to work on all these things. There are over 1.3 billion vehicles on the road today, over 273 million vehicles in the United States alone. And it's projected by 2028, we're going to need over 1.1 million technicians. It's amazing. The demand is definitely there. I can't walk into a dealership, but what the service manager won't ask me, hey, you have any graduates? We're looking for technicians. They're constantly looking for help. And then finally, the third part of our agenda today, Universal Technical Institute's career pathways. Who is UTI? Well, Lee told you a little bit about us. We're the leading provider of technicians in the country in the transportation industry. We have 12 campuses nationwide. We place over 4 out of 5 of our graduates into their chosen field. And notice I said chosen field. We want to make sure that they're doing what they want to do, what they're good at, what they love to do. And we have over 220,000 graduates in our now 56-year history. We train in 8 different areas: auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, and welding. So we have a variety of options here. But more importantly, there's lots of options within these options. You can't just come to UTI. You have to be invited. How? Through an interview. We do an interview with the student and their parents. We want to find out, what do they want to be when they grow up? We want to find out what they're good at. What do they love to do? So that's what the interview is for, is to try to peel back the onion, so to speak, to find out what they really want to do. But what we find sometimes is students, they love cars, but they don't really want to turn wrenches. So what could they do in the industry? They could be a service writer. That's the person you see when you first go into a dealership, when you take your car in to get it worked on. Or insurance companies, they love our graduates as claims adjusters. You know, you have an accident, you hit a deer, you know, looks, the outside's messed up, but you got to remember there's a whole lot of on the inside too that may have been messed up with sensors and all the electronics that are there. So there's lots of opportunities for different career pathways within career pathways. We do industry aligned technology. You know, before the pandemic even hit, we were already doing this. We combined the online instruction with the hands-on instruction. Now we have to do a little bit differently right now to meet CDC guidelines, but we still do this. Why do we do it? Because the industry does it that way. You know, dealerships can no longer afford to send their technicians off. They're short on technicians as it is. They can't afford to have them out of the shop, so they do their advanced training online. We get them used to that. So they do part of their training online, and then they do part of it hands-on. This is how we build our technicians. And then, of course, our education model itself. You know, we do one course at a time for 3 weeks. We're developing competency-based credentials, and this is how we build our technician through this education model. As I mentioned before, you know, we didn't get shut down because of the pandemic. I mean, we were an essential and are an essential industry. And so the need for technicians didn't go away with the pandemic, but we had to adjust. So what do we do to adjust with CDC compliance? We have assigned doors that students can enter and leave. We do temperature checks. We do face coverings. We reduce lab sizes to meet the social distancing, the 6-foot separation. Require washing of hands. We clean and disinfect constantly, and then we offer phone support. If a student or their family does still not feel safe to come into the campus, we can answer their questions over the phone. We love to do our presentations face-to-face. However, that's not possible everywhere. Many schools are shut down right now, and so we offer virtual presentations. We have a whole buffet of offerings that we can make to you. We can do them through Zoom, we can do them through Microsoft Teams, or if you have your own platform, we can use it as well. But what we do is we want to talk to students about the opportunities in the skilled trades and in the transportation industry. You can see there's some examples of our slides on the right. These are not UTI infomercials. They're to speak to all of your students. And if you're interested in something like that, please get in contact with me because I can help set those up. They're all complimentary. There's no charge for these. We can do virtual presentations, virtual tours, industry aligned tours. We can do a lot of things to help you with your students. We have a national presence. That's important to students because, first of all, you'd be hard pressed to walk into a dealership and they wouldn't know who UTI is. Second of all, you know, a student goes to school, say in California, but then decides later they want to move to Florida or to Pennsylvania or to Texas. We have UTI there too. So we can help them to get placed in their career in those areas too. We have over 35 industry partners. These are the big dogs in the industry. And I wanted to add that just today, we've added another one. UTI's first ever agricultural manufacturer training program and a new partnership with AGCO corporation. So we're really excited about that. So we're always venturing into new relationships because, these guys need technicians. And so they want to join up with us to help, so we can help them to get the technicians that they need. We're eager to help you, and employers are also eager to help you too. I talk a lot about TRIP employers. This is a tuition reimbursement incentive program that we have. Counselors love to hear about this. It offers students an opportunity to take care of their student loans. And so what I decided to do is put a couple of these up for you to see exactly how these programs work. The first one's with Hendrick, the Hendrick Advantage. The company, 100 dealers representing 29 brands, currently operating in 13 states, over 10,000 employees. The package, tuition reimbursement, $300 a month. This is on top of their salary, on top of what they get paid, an extra $300 a month. They can use that towards their student loans, that student loan payment to get those student loans paid off. Tool voucher, $200 a month for 10 months. Relocation available on a case-by-case basis. As I heard one service manager said, I'm not going to lose a good technician over a couple $1,000s. It's not going to happen. ASE reimbursement and paid factory training. And then finally, comprehensive benefits packages. Another example, the Penske Auto Group. The company, over 150 U.S. locations, over 40 world-class brands, Fortune 500 company. The package, tuition reimbursement, $420 per month for 48 months. Tool program, $2,000 reimbursement, and then a tenure bonus. The technician stays there for 48 months, they get a $3,000 bonus. So you can see these employers are willing to invest into our graduates because they need the technicians so badly. One of the things that we like to do is we like to use our graduates to help our future students. We have events where we will invite them to come in because they'll tell the students the real deal, the good, the bad, the ugly, I like to say. These guys all went through it. UTI is not easy, and they want to tell the students that you got to work hard when you come to school, but the rewards are immense because you get great training and you get placed into your chosen field, into a great career. So these guys really help us with our future students. As I said, we try to make it education affordable for your students. So we are Title IV funded, so we require the FAFSA to see if they qualify for financial aid. We have over $15 million in scholarships. We have housing grants. We have institutional grants. We have over 4,500 TRIP employers, and we have third-party programs to help with emergency expenses. I'm a retired educator. I know exactly what you guys do on a daily basis. However, I can't really say that this year because I've never gone through what you guys have had to. We're here to partner with you. That's what we want to do. We're so excited about the partnerships that we try to develop with counselors across the country. We're real excited. We just signed a new ASCA Alliance partnership with the American School Counselor Association. So we are now an official ASCA Alliance partner. So we're really excited about that too. So we want to work with you to help you any way we possibly can to get through this year and help you with your students. You can follow us on social media through Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and of course our website, uti.edu. Before I get into this particular slide, I just want to mention Tracy Kilby is the Regional Admissions Director at our Sacramento campus, and he asked me to mention a couple of things to you. They host monthly industry days, so you want to check with the campus about those, or you can do that through me or through our website. They also do tour guided open houses by appointments only. So they'd love for you to be involved with those too. So they have a lot of things going on at the campus, and you can find that out on our website, uti.edu, or you can reach out to me. Finally, I just want to mention that I think it's important when you're dealing with parents. I always get this question about parents. We need help with them. What can we do to communicate with them to better? So I'm going to give you a few items here. First of all, promote your STEM programs that you have there at your schools. Many of the educators will come to my booth and I'll say, ask them about their STEM program. But no, we don't really do that much. But in talking to them, they do a lot with it. They just call it something differently. So, promote those programs. Host an open house for parents and middle school students. Reach out to them. When you have parents come in, don't just have them come in and mill around. Give them something to do. Give them an activity. Do a STEM demonstration of some kind. They love those things. They want to be involved. Involve industry. Industry wants to partner with you. That's why I've tried to tell you, they need the technicians, they need the employees. So they're willing to work with you any way can. If you're afraid to reach out to them, reach out to me. I'll help you with that. Career Pathways Exploration Days. You notice I didn't say college fair. I would like for you to take college out of your vocabulary. I didn't say college itself. I mean the word college. Because when you say college, students only think of certain schools. They don't think of all the post-secondary opportunities. So rename these. Call it a Career Pathways Exploration Day. Call it a Career Day, whatever you want to call it. But this way you get all students involved and it can meet all the students' needs. And then finally, celebrate the successes of all your students, not just a few of them. This will get parents more involved too, because every parent wants to see their students successful. So celebrate all their successes. And then finally, this is my contact information. This is my email address. This is my phone. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions, comments. I'd love to hear from you. If I can help you with any of that you've heard here today, please reach out to me and I'll be glad to do that for you. I thank you so much for spending a little bit of your afternoon with me. And I wish you a good rest of your day and good luck with the rest of the school year. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dr. Coyle. We are now going to open this up at the Q&A portion of our presentation. So if you have a question, feel free to use the Q&A button in the Zoom meeting. We also just threw up a poll question. If you would like us to email you with more information about virtual events coming up for your seniors, please indicate so using the poll feature so that we know who to reach out to. So it does look like we actually have a question that's come in, Dr. Coyle. This person wants to know, are there GPA or SAT requirements in order to get into Universal Technical Institute?
No, there are not. As I mentioned in the presentation, most of it's going to be based on the interview with the student and their family. We do not require SAT or ACT scores. They're fine if they have them, but we don't require those. And the GPA is not, we don't have a certain grade point average requirement.
Okay, so it's mostly based off of the interview then with the student.
Yeah, that's correct.
Good fit. Okay.
That's correct.
The second question, this person wants to know, if the student's coming from out of town or maybe they live in a different state, is there housing available at the Sacramento campus?
Yes, there is housing available. It's available at most of our campuses across the country. I think we only have one where it's not. We partner with Collegiate Housing Services, so we can make that work for you. We also offer housing grants too to help students because it's always tough getting started, and so we try to help our students any way we possibly can.
Yeah, that's great. I know you guys don't have dorms, but you do place those students with other students so that those individuals are with like-minded people and, taking classes together, that kind of thing, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we have their apartments that we lease, and you're right. We help to pair students up with other students like that. We do that. We have like a future student workshop day before school starts where we can pair students up too.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure that a lot of these students end up graduating with a couple more friends than they did when they started, which is cool. Okay, now this person wants to know about cost comparisons with community colleges. We get this a lot. Can you kind of just talk about the difference between, attending school at UTI versus going to the local community college?
Yeah, I do get this all the time. And, you have to look at the big picture of everything. And of course, ROI, the return on the investment. But, the glaring differences I see is the fact that you're going to be at the community college for 2 to 3 years. You're going to be at UTI about a year, give or take a month or two in there. So while you're still in school at the community college, you're out working from UTI. Many of our graduates are 19 years old and they're out in the field working and making good money. The other thing is our trip employers I just talked to you about. That's a huge opportunity for students to get their school paid for. But once again, they don't just pass those out. You have to put in the time and effort, good attendance, good professionalism, good grades while you're at UTI. Those are all important too. And then finally, our outcomes. Our graduation rate is 3 times that of the community college. That's just a proven statistic. Numbers don't lie. And the placement with our graduates is second to none. So those are really the differences.
Yeah, I mean, of everything that you said, I think the most compelling one is the relationship with employers that you have. And like you mentioned, the the TRIP program where students can help pay, as employers can help pay for the college tuition. So, okay, cool. So just a couple of cleanup items here. This session has been recorded and it will be distributed to you tomorrow morning so that you'll have a chance to re-listen to anything. If there's anything else that you want to listen to after this presentation or to forward it along to any of your colleagues, please feel free to do so. We will also place it on our website. There is a quick follow-up survey, if you wouldn't mind, when you leave this meeting. It's about 5 questions that sort of help us out in determining maybe other topics we should talk about or what you thought about the presentation. Any sort of feedback would be great. Before closing, I just want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules today. I know, now more than ever, there's a million different things pulling you in a million directions. And so we really appreciate you taking the time today. I also want to thank Dr. Coyle with sharing with us today's presentation. I'd encourage each and every one of you to contact him directly with any future questions. On behalf of Imagine America Foundation, Dr. Coyle and myself, I want to thank you and goodbye.